Attention.
I know, he's so filming.
You want to film?
No.
So the first thing you're going to do is like some external features and then like directionality of the clam. So you're saying you've got two shells or two valves, which is why they're bivalves. Can someone tell me the phylum of the clam?
Mollusca.
Good job. Okay. And so as you know, there are 5 features of mollusks. The clam is actually missing one, and that would be the radula. But you can see there's we showed it on the TV monitor, and we show it, there's like a demonstration right there where you can take cornstarch, and just narrow heat the cornstarch, and its radula will come out. So let's name the 4 other features of mollusks.
Mantle.
The foot. Okay.
Mantle.
Mantle. Timidia. Shell. And shell. Good. Okay. So we've got our shells, like I said. This is called the umbo. It's like this pointy thing here. Alright, and so next let's go through the directionality of the clam. Basically the way I think of it is like anytime I see a clam, like the one in the tank, it's always like this kind of, and that's because like it has its siphons up so it can like take in water, let out water, and the foot goes down. So even though it's kind of like, I would say a little bit counterintuitive, this is the anterior end. It's the end where normally you'll see the foot out. This one's kind of like closing up a little bit. But yeah, so this is the anterior end, this is the posterior end, this is dorsal, and this is ventral. Okay? All right.
Can you say it again?
Yeah. Dorsal, ventral, anterior, and posterior. And so, like, I mean, if you should be able to know based on, not only based on like this demo where you can see all the organs, but you should know based on just like a shell where like what the shape is, like posterior, anterior, dorsal, ventral, just based on like most clam shells will look like this. Okay, so we got our shell. So now let's start with, oh actually, first I want to mention the adductor muscles, which are used in closing the clamshell. You'll be able to see them in here in this live one, and you'll be able to see those scars of the adductor muscles. And you should know what they look like. You should know which one is the anterior scar and the posterior scar. Can everyone see the little indentations right there? Yeah. And definitely look at all this stuff on your own. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it for external. So now let's start going into the actual morphology of the internal morphology of the clam. So we've got mantles right here. You guys can come closer so you can see this stuff better. So this is the mantle, one of the features that is common to mollusks right here. Okay. And this is the siphon, tubey thing right here. Knowing what side is ventral, what side is dorsal can be really helpful in telling us which of these, there's 2 little openings here, it'll be helpful in telling us which is the excurrent siphon and which is the incurrent siphon. So it becomes easier once you start looking at it more, but the excurrent siphon is going to be dorsal. The incurrent siphon is going to be ventral, and once you start to get a sense of where other portions of clam morphology are, it makes sense that this would be the excurrent because the digestive system ends here, the anus is here, and so in the visceral mass up here, you're going to have waste expelled through the top, which is the excurrent siphon. So we start by going through the flow of water through the clam. So it goes in through the incurrent siphon, which is on the which end?
Ventral.
Ventral. Good. So it goes in, it'll enter the mantle cavity, and in the mantle cavity we have very important structures called, come closer, timidia. You can see them in here. Yeah, so see these white flaps in here? They're kind of ridged. If you look really close, you'll be able to see that they have ridges. Really microscopically, they have little cilia that are used in creating more surface area. So more surface area for gas exchange, which is important. So you need to have like gas exchange organ. Make sure to know like what all the analogous structures are in various other organisms, different phyla, different classes within, well, it's Altinidia and mollusks, but make sure to be able to recognize those. Can you point it out again? Yeah. You see better. See right here? These white, I have a problem. They're like flappy, yeah, these guys. And so they're pretty significant. Like they're little flaps, there's a lot of them. They have like the lines on them. And so gas exchange is one function. Another function is allowing for that flow of water because they have those little cilia and that helps to keep the water flowing through. And with the water is also their nutrients, and so they're able to keep taking in more and more food because of the current that is created by the cilia. And they're a little bit sticky, which is also helpful in like capturing food. So Ctenidia will bring the water, help bring the water in, and then the water will, like after going through the mantle cavity, it'll reach the labial palps. Labial palps are, really have to get close to see these. Basically like lips, like you can like pick things up with your lips and then like ingest them. This is basically their analog to that. So if you come really close, I'll show you them. Why don't you do groups of two? So you two, come closer.
Let's see.
Right up here. So see these white, flappy, like longish things right there? Yeah?
Yeah.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those will basically bring in food into the mouth. Okay, you two.
Marian's blocking the video. Over here.
Girl, you're just blocking the video.
Way to ruin the documentary. That's okay though.
You know your talk is gonna be online too.
I know.
So is yours.
And everyone will hear us blaming Irene Dang.
These are the label.
His face is turning red. It's turning red. Look at that. It's so red.
This is a distraction to our discussion.
Everybody needs to look at this video.
The whole world.
And everyone's gonna be like, why are we looking at this?
Okay, so then so labial palps will help to bring the nutrients and water into the mouth. And so
Section's gonna see
then
that.
you pretty much get into most of the rest of the digestive system is hidden within the visceral mass, which like make sure you know like the principle of the visceral mass versus the mantle cavity. It's just like a separation, and it's because I guess okay, and so next we open up. So anyway, so after it goes into the mouth, it goes into the digestive organs, which are in the visceral mass. You guys are gonna have to come up in twos again to see this really close. But what they've done is cut open the visceral mass, so normally you would not be able to see it, but there are a lot of like really important organs and structures within the visceral mass, including the digestive organs. So you've got mouth to esophagus, esophagus to stomach, where you have these digestive glands. And so they'll help to break down nutrients and do absorption. Oh yeah, just go up into this and look at it. So this is the visceral mass in here. It's going to cut open. You can't really see that much, and I'll make sure to point out the structures that you can't see.
That's outside.
And I'm just going to tell you. Not really. It's like in there. You pretty much. I don't think they would ask you if I'm saying like that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, take a picture of that.
Okay. That's you.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm just recording.
And then next we go.
Great. We just see her hair.
It's okay.
Yeah. So this is the visceral mass.
Do you want to see you again?
One of the really important organs.
Your red
So I'll go through
face.
them just once right now.
Come down. Oh my gosh, now you're gonna take a picture.
Right in
You're
here.
zoomed into.
See this? They cut it open, and it contains a lot of important organs. Okay, so then after it goes through the stomach, it'll go through the intestine, and then intestine to rectum, rectum to anus, and then the anus will basically allow it to go out through the externate side, which is, like we said, which part of the clam?
Wait, say that again?
Dorsal.
Dorsal.
Oh.
Spit out. No, it's dorsal, right? So then, yeah, so out. So now let's talk about, well, first let me show you a few of the important organs within that you can see in the visceral mass. So you'll be able to, I think, the heart and the anus is not really visible in this one. But I will show you the heart. The heart is like a little tiny red mass. It's just like a red thing in there, like a splotch, reddish orange.
Reddish orange.
No, filming right.
I know. I'm looking for it first.
Straight.
So I know what to look for.
It's gonna be a great video.
I know, right? Oh, can someone run over there and get me that?
Don't judge.
Go get.
Go get what?